again, everybody. This is Derek, aka Mr. Everything, and I am coming at you with some more IL-2 Sturmovik. Today we are exploring the new patch that just came out. It is patch 5.101. I'm not going to jump in and fly a bunch of planes. As you know, I'm an early backer of Flying Circus Volume 2. And as they were releasing planes, I would always do a first look at that plane, like the SPAD 7 and the Fokker D8 and all that stuff, right? So I've already taken a look at all those planes, so we're not going to rehash that. But what I am going to talk about is what they released in this patch for everyone that has Volume 2. It's the complete Volume 2, and it's an important day, apparently. So I'm going to read as I commentate, as I always do. Okay, so you know that in previous videos I showed that they actually included both maps, right? There's a north and there's a south map. I think it's a direct port from Rise of Flight, but I'm not sure. And then, so let's talk about that. We're not going to show the video here. If you want, you can go to YouTube and you can actually watch their video. It's basically a bunch of their planes crashing into each other. Okay, so what it includes? Well, it includes the Western Front 1918 with the north and south parts. Okay, and a quick mission builder mode. So if you just want to make a mission and plop it in there, that's awesome. Pilot career mode. Okay, we're going to touch on that here in just a minute. I'm going to bring up IL-2 and we will kind of tool around with that just a little bit, because that is the one single most important thing that I've been waiting for, is the career mode. And now that it's out for World War I think I'm going to start a career in World War I and televise it. Okay, so we got the SPAD 7, the Sopwith triplane, Newport 28. They got the Brugeau, or Brugeau, I think it's Brugeau 14. We got the Airco DH4. We got the Hanley Page, the Fokker D8, the Pfalz D12, and then we got the Gotha and the DFW C5, right? So that we've got a bunch of planes that came out in this edition. I'm totally happy about it. But as you know, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I don't want to go later in the war. I want to go earlier in the war, and we'll touch on that here in just a second. Here's a nice screenshot of some, what are these, Brugeaus? And then a bunch of other pictures showing like the quick mission builder mode right there. Actually, this might even be the... Yeah, this kind of looks a little bit like the... that kind of looks like the career mode. Okay, so let's not do that anymore. That kind of just bumped me out of the website. Flying Circus Volume 3. Volume 3. This they already have in the works Volume 3. So what are we going to get in Volume 3? Because I'm definitely going to get it. I've already read this. 8 aircraft. Okay, now let's talk about this. Albatross D2. Yes, early. Halberstadt D2. Yes. Newport 17. Newport 11. Yes. The British adapted Newport 17. The Hanro HD1. Okay. The two-seater reconnaissance RE8 and the two-seat medium FE2B. Yes, yes, Yes. Okay, it's not. Um, oh, wait, let's scroll down even further. They're talking about it's scheduled for the end of 2023. Well, I'm happy about that. Um, the map will have 5 seasons: summer, autumn, spring, winter. Okay. Um, and then, but look right here. After completing the Flying Circus 3, there are plans in 2024 to develop additional set together for some remaining planes, which is these are the ones I'm sort of looking for. We got the Eindecker, right? The Eindecker. We got a Roland 2, right? We got the Half Strutter, Albatross D3. Here we go. Airco DH2 and the Sopwith Pup. The Sopwith Pup being the predecessor to the Camel, right? Airco DH2, that's the crazy looking, kite looking plane with the propeller in the back. I'm excited. I'm more excited for Flying Circus 3 than I was for Flying Circus 2, even though 2 did include the pilot career mode. That's really what I was hoping for. But I'm really excited about early war planes because that's what I'm about. But also, in addition to the announcement of the Flying Circus, they're talking about what did they release as part of their World War II package. Well, we got the Mark 14 Echo, and that says released, so that's included. In addition to the Great War, we have to present new British collectible aircraft. Okay. It's collectible. Okay, that means you got to pay a little extra for it, like usually $5 or something. But the main difference is the teardrop shaped canopy. Okay. Several modifications. It's got the fuel, the bombs, the gun sight, clipped wing, right? Rear view mirror, photo camera, and rounded exhaust pipes. Also, they introduced a Wings Over Con free campaign, which I know I have it. I've already looked. I didn't look at it, but I noticed that I have it. It's basically a what's that plane? Typhoon? Tempest? Typhoon. It's a Typhoon campaign, is my understanding. Okay. We also had added single missions. There's a longer list of just missions you can pick from and choose from. And then here is all the major and minor changes, in which we're going to go over real quick. The Western Front is improved, the map. The Spitfire with teardrop canopy collector released. A historical campaign, Wings Over Con. It's free for Battle of Normandy owners. 11 interesting single missions added to the Battle of Normandy, like the Arado, the Spitfire, and the C-47 missions. Flight Direction Tender Ship added. Blazing Steppe, Fortress in the Volga, and Ice Ring campaigns. Updated tactical numbers, correct paint schemes. His Majesty's Griffin's campaign updated. Okay, I played a couple of missions out of that. I didn't finish it. And correct paint schemes added for each aircraft. The 234 mission 9 mission 9. Okay, American vehicles replaced by British in UK held territories. Okay, now that they've got the UK vehicles, instead of using proxies, they were actually able to go in and swap them out for the actual vehicles. That's pretty good. Now, Hawks Over the Bulge, that was another one. That's a P-47 mission. I played like 1 or 2 missions with that as well. There's a lot of these campaigns that I haven't completed. And when, I don't know if you know this, but about 6 months ago or so, I had to reinstall everything, so all my missions were lost. So I'm pretty much starting over from scratch, except for one campaign, which is the Wind mission, which is the Tempest mission. I think I still have a couple of missions saved, but if I was to go back to that, I think I would just start over. Okay, some AI changes. They fixed bugs where the AI pilots dropped paratroopers in cargo containers, uh, corrected evasive maneuvers for World War I aircraft, which sometimes led to spin and collision. Okay, fixed an issue with pilots climbing in formation, which in particular could cause the wingmen to fly with their flaps extended and therefore lag behind the rest of the flight. Improved formation keeping by AI pilots during climb and descent, and AA searchlights on truck chassis function correctly. That's good. The PE2 35 and the PE2 87 crew models are updated, so they updated, instead of being the vanilla pilots and crew members, they updated the models with higher res, higher textures. Okay, I'm skipping a lot of this. Location of tactical number symbols have been corrected on the two color and white skins for the Yak, it looks like. IL-2 and the Yak. Okay, the Airco DH4 Hanley, Page, and Brugeot flight commander flares fired when giving orders won't damage the aircraft wing. So basically, they don't shoot their flare directly into the wing. The A-20 fixed a problem with the display of tail signals. Okay. The size of the size of off-road bumpy terrain features in the Normie map now corresponds to other maps like Kuban and Rhineland. Balloon operators launch flares when given a mission command. Detailed tank launch flares when given mission command. The Focke-Wulf fixed a number of minor cockpit issues. The Duck, the HS-129 bomb racks are linked to the middle part of the wing under the outer one. Spitfire 14's engine operating modes have been adjusted. Aircraft behavior when extending and retracting flaps have been corrected. Lights look correct from a distance, and fixed a bug which the fuel tank damage could be calculated wrong when hitting wing tanks. Well, I'd like to let you know that in a previous campaign, I had a Mark 9. I don't think I had a Mark 14, and my AI pilot would constantly try to drop flaps when trying to join formations, which in one campaign caused me to crash. Okay, the 109 drag and weight of bombs are calculated correctly. The F-110 scope wind speed readings have been adjusted. The BF 109, 190, IL-2, MiG-3, LAG-3, MC-202. The point of application of the air drag on the underbelly and underwing cannons has been fixed. That's interesting. It was affecting a bunch of these planes. That makes me think that it wasn't the plane's fault. It was the math, right? So they must have realized that their math was off in that area, and they fixed the math, and it fixed probably all these planes. Okay, the BF-109 fixed a bug due to which gun pods were linked. The 110 propeller blur. The 234 increased drop in aerodynamic quality. Okay, fixed random crash with the C-47 cowl flaps. The cowl flaps control valve are named correctly in the cockpit. That's good. I don't own the C-47, and I don't really have any desire to go out and purchase that one. I don't think it should have been, well, let me rephrase that. If I was a company and I was allowed to pick a plane from World War II and create the model, the flight characteristics, the damage model, the weapon, and all that stuff to be implemented in IL-2, which uses a bunch of third-party companies to make their product because they don't really have a whole lot of people in the actual company. So if I was a company, I would not have picked the C-47 as a plane to sell to people. I would have tried to find something a little bit more sexy. Maybe a World War One plane that's not in production. Maybe a World War II plane, maybe a Pacific plane, like a Hellcat or a Wildcat or something like that. Or a Zero or something. I would not have gone with a C-47 unless they were given incentive to do that because of the Normandy. They needed it done for Normandy. But if that's the case, I think IL-2, the company, should have done it in-house or made it free. But the company that made it doesn't want it to be free because they make money on commissions or whatever. So maybe they should have just been outright paid a salary instead of a commission kind of deal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings, but C-47 would not have been my first choice. Okay, fixed display with the JU-87. Recovery time. Okay, great. Tank crew changes. I only played a little bit of that. I don't own it. I played the default, like what you're given for free, which is not that much. And they fixed the damage to gun barrels. It is again possible to damage the player controllable tanks, undercarriage. The GUI display and number of rounds left in the player controller tank has been fixed. Churchill tanks are visible in the first person view. The hull armor is correctly taken into account when calculating the armor piercing high explosive hit. Okay, now let's look at the map changes for World War I. Since this is the release of Flying Circus 2, this would be a good place. General fixes: leveled terrain under the Ochi Airfield, leveled terrain under the Pronville Airfield, restored objects on the airfield La Bellevue, added airfield Marville, changed the name of the airfield to Asna-le-Sec West, and removed a flooding from the Etain Airfield, fixed forest clearings in these grids, removed the overlapping of buildings in the villages on the front line in the trenches. Airfield, the sign has been removed from the hangar. Okay, I didn't notice, but I'm sure someone that was paying attention did. Train station Lily, removed the extra model of the station. Airfield Stenley and Stenley South, Berlin have level terrain. Added the city of Luxembourg. Added Fort Verdun. Many farms have been added to the countryside. That's cool. Ypres added a canal near the city. Bridge markings added on the main map, that is. Added missing ground textures near these buildings. Okay, there must have been some holes in the terrain. Corrected forest clearings. Removed trees from houses. So there's probably they probably brushed on a forest and somebody brushed over a house and then a tree just popped up in the middle of the house. Okay, added missing textures for railways and Toul Airfield. The terrain at the end of the runway has been leveled. They did a lot of leveling, it looks like. Other changes. Excessive shine of camouflage next fixed. Fixed a bug of air reconnaissance inability to use. Fixed a bug in the MCU. What is that? The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Complex trigger, due to which the event of dropping paratroopers worked. Okay. Updated the sound of air explosions. Added separate sounds of air explosions for different types of flak. Updated external and internal heard from cockpit sounds of the Shavak cannons. That's a Russian deal. Fixed assignment of tactical codes in career mode. Okay, that's interesting. Tactical codes generated for a mission shouldn't be applied to the unique skins in the hangar, but it is, and I'll show you in just a second. Mission editor fixed the drop-down list of countries in the properties section of the airfield. Okay, so there was quite a bit that came out. The list might not be long, but the quantity is incredibly long. So let me close this web page, and then we can take a look at IL-2 game. Now, this is a custom skin that I downloaded and applied, and you can see the GQ is, and the U here is overwritten over the DGQ, which is part of the skin. I mean, hey, little things happen. Okay, so, and I can go in and delete those and just use the skin. That's not a problem. So, quick missions. This is the same old thing, right? Nothing's really changed here, so let's not worry about that. Scripted campaigns. This is something new. This very first one, Wings over Con. See, Winds of Fury. Okay, it was also reset. His Majesty's Griffins. You can see I've played a couple of missions of His Majesty's Griffins, but if they've said that they fixed something, then I'll probably just restart that. Hellhawks over the Bulge. You can see all those had been reset, which is good. That just makes me have to start them all over again. I'm in the middle of a Red Knights campaign, which I think I'm going to put on pause to do a career. And then Wings over Con. That sounds like it'd be a fun one to do as well. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so, and you can see that there was a lot of them on there that were grayed out. Well, those are the ones that I don't have. Okay, pilot career, we're going to skip that. We're going to get back to that. That's going to be last. Missions. Okay, if I was to open up the Rhineland missions, here's the Rhineland missions. Right? Okay. But then if I go to Battle of Normandy, they've added a few Battle of Normandy missions. Okay, which is good. And then I've always had Stalingrad. That's not a problem. Flying circus scenarios. Now look at that. There's this long list. There used to be only like 5 or 6. Now there's this long list, and it covers a lot of different types of missions and airplanes from that period. Okay. Don't worry about all the rest of this. Doesn't matter. Let's go to pilot career. And of course, that's my current pilot career that I just recently started. But let's go ahead and create a new career. Now we got this new window right here that I haven't had in the past. I've had Battle of Stalingrad, I've had Battle of Normandy, Rhineland, but now I have Western Front. Click it. Continue. Okay, so we've got the Entente, which is France, Great Britain, USA, and then you got the German Empire. It doesn't really have the central powers. You don't have Italy or whoever else is in, or Hungary or whatever in there. They're just focusing on the German Empire. Okay, so it doesn't really matter on this screen if you pick France, Britain, or US, but it does matter if you choose German. So I'm just going to pick Britain, because it just to show you what I'm talking about. Because on this next screen, right here on the choose country, this is where you choose it. You don't choose it on that first screen. I don't even know why it asks you that. It should just say Entente Central and leave it at that. And then on this screen, say Germany or Great Britain or whatever. So we have these are the planes, and there's a scroll bar There's a bunch of planes, and you can see I don't have the snipe, even though that's probably the best plane in the war. I don't have a Dolphin, and I don't have a Hanley Page. Um, and I thought I had a Newport. Oh, I might have a Newport, but it doesn't apply in this time frame. So we got 1917 here, and then we got 1918 here, right? So if you switch to 1918, yeah, now the Newport 28 shows up, right? The snipe has got a little lock on it. It says unavailable for this account. That's because I didn't buy it. Okay, now all we need is to decide what plane I want to fly. I already know what I want to do, but I guess this is telling us what kind of a mission it would normally perform. And a little bullet, I guess, means it's a fighter, right? Where when you got a bullet, a bomb, and a bomb, a different type of bomb, I don't know. So it basically does bombing missions and fighting. I don't think that's true. I don't think the Airco or the Brugeot or, well, maybe the Bristol, because the Bristol's called a fighter, but I don't think the Brugeot or the Airco are considered fighters. I love the triplane. I love me a triplane. Okay, so, and then the SPAD's got a couple of different horsepowers. I mean, you know, and then the SPAD 13. The SPAD 13 is too late war. I don't like it. And the Camel and SE5A are okay. I consider them mid-war planes. I just wish there was more new early war planes. And guess what? That's about to happen. Okay. Bloody April, right? That's right. It's Bloody April and on. I want to play before Bloody April. So if I was to just hit Great Britain with all the planes checked, these are the squadrons that I have available to choose from. And if you go to the later war, you get a bunch of different squadrons to fly. I thought that, you know, just like all the other campaigns with IL-2, it's pretty much exactly the same. And you can see that there is the northern map and the southern map. Now, I'm excited to play the 10th Naval Squadron. I just dig the 10th and the 8th Naval Squadron. I think they are the bee's knees. Now, at a certain period, they in 1918, they changed their designation. They put they make them a 200 series because the 200 series was the naval squadrons. So you'll see this 110 jump to, the 10 will jump to the 210 in the future. And if I was to open that squadron, okay, hold on. You can see it was number 10 squadron before this date, right? And then it's now the 210. And it talks about the 10th Naval Squadron and all that. But I think I want to, the 10th Squadron. But I want to do early war and work my way up. And I'm going to join this unit. If you hover over it, you can see that they are Sopwith triplanes and Sopwith camels. So I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. And then this is all the same thing. Matthew Cole, date. You get to choose like who you were. You know, he was a this is what his dad was, right? Or he was. He was a British infantryman Yeah, he was born large family, blah, blah, blah. It gets into all that stuff. And by appointment is always good. I don't want rank that I shouldn't have. And now, a lot of these look a little bit like. Now, that's the only one there that looks like a World War One portrait. Maybe that one. But that kind of looks like a World War II RAF kind of. But I could be completely wrong. Okay, they got a bunch of different ones. Is it random? I'm going to go with that one. No, maybe that's German. Maybe that's why I think. Could be wrong. We're going to go with that one. That looks like a Matthew Cole finish. We're not starting this campaign tonight. I just wanted to show you the entry into the campaign, and I wanted to see it myself too. Okay, it looks like 5/15/1917, Western Front. Welcome to the 10th. Okay, well, I'll go over all of that in my actual playthrough of the campaign. So, thanks for coming out and watching this first look at IL-2 Flying Circus 2 and the patch update, the patch notes for 5.101. And stay tuned to my channel. You'll see a lot more IL-2 going forward. And I'll catch you in the next one.